Hey there, got a sec? I want you to visualize this dream scenario with me. You're waking up energized and ready to tackle anything because every single day you get to do what you're passionate about. You believe in what you're doing in your career or business, and you're living a happy, abundant, and fulfilled life. You, my friend, are living at your highest potential while making an impact in those around you. There is no more feelings of being powerless, overwhelmed, or that you don't have control. You're fully empowered and clear on your purpose. Can you imagine? Well, my friend, I have good news. It is totally possible to do what fires you up while making money and creating a legacy that empowers the world. This is why I'd love to invite you to my Energize Your Potential Masterclass. In this free training, I'm sharing three simple strategies you can implement right now to boost your clarity in career and find your purpose. Whether you're in a career or business that you like, but your inner voice is telling you that you're meant for more. Or maybe you're seeking a career shift and you have some clarity but need the right tools and support to move forward with your goals. Or maybe you're in between. Wherever you are, I've created this masterclass with you in mind. You can register in ybcoaching.com/energize to reserve your spot, and I'll see you there. Go to ybcoaching.com/energized. Have you ever been to a cruise? I've taken 3 cruises in my life. The first one was probably around 2011 before I graduated from college, and it was to the Bahamas. And the last one was maybe 5 years ago, and I took it from Galveston, Texas, and we went to Belize and Cozumel. I love cruises because I think it's just a perfect vacation, right? You pay once and then you have non-alcoholic drinks. Of course, you need to pay the alcoholic, but you have like food and you have entertainment and you have excursions. I mean, I think it's pretty cool because you have everything in one place. And more if it's a family trip, I think it creates an environment for high quality experiences. Now, the third trip, which I didn't mention, was a 10 days cruise through the Panama Canal. And this was after I graduated from college. That was my college graduation trip. And it was a lot of fun, but it was like 10 days. It was a lot. Now, I remember just the cruise. I mean, there are so many moving pieces in the cruise, from the staff cooking the food to the people cleaning to the mechanics maintaining everything within the cruise. And honestly, the captain's role in the cruise is one of telling everyone where to go, right? The captain says, we are going to the Bahamas. And then every single crew in the cruise ship work in harmony in order to get there. The captain cannot get there by himself. It needs the power of a whole team in order to entertain the people and in order for every single piece in the cruise to be maintained. And you're probably thinking, okay, this is a really cool story. I'm glad you had fun, but what this has to do with the topic of today? Honestly, the topic of today, it's the one thing stopping you from finding your purpose and pursuing your dreams. And that one thing, my friend, is your subconscious programming. Now, let me put things into perspective. You have two minds, your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. Everyone is aware with the conscious mind because conscious mind is awareness, is everything we are aware of. The subconscious mind is the one that most people struggle with understanding. But I have told you this analogy at the beginning so you can understand it even better. The conscious mind is like the captain of the cruise ship. It tells you where to go. For example, the conscious mind, in an example of physical fitness, it tells you we are going to work out 5 times a week, and 4 months from now, I want to have lost 10 pounds. That's just an example. That's what the conscious mind does. It sets your goals with clarity. But here's the thing, what the subconscious mind does. The subconscious mind is everything working on the background, my friend. So it's every single crew on that cruise ship making sure the captain and everyone else there makes it safely to the Bahamas and that everyone has a wonderful experience. Often when we set goals, often when we say, I want to discover my purpose and take more love-driven decisions rather than fear-driven decisions, those are set consciously. Those goals are set consciously. So the conscious mind is the goal setter. The unconscious mind is the one working in the background, and it's actually the goal getter. Going back to the example of physical health, you say to yourself, I want to do these things. Frequency, I'm going to show up 5 times a week. I'm going to lose certain pounds by certain month. You're super specific. If we set that consciously, why we are not following through? Why we are not executing? Well, my friend, because your beliefs, thoughts, feelings, emotions are not supporting you getting there. Your beliefs, thoughts, emotions, values, all of those are part of your subconscious programming. All of those are part of this engine that is being used in the background to get you to where you want to be, or at least want to be consciously, but you don't get there somehow. And it is important to work on that for you to be able to align with your conscious goals and your conscious desires. I love that at the end of the year, everyone has a goal setting session. That's awesome. Even before goal setting, you need to start reflecting on and asking yourself, how is this year going to be different? How am I going to break the pattern of what has happened in the past? And I'm going to get all those lessons so I can move forward with confidence and empowerment. That's the key, my friend. Even in my coaching program and even with the students of my digital course, Discover Your Purpose program, before we work on finding their purpose, the first thing we do is working on that subconscious programming and aligning it to the direction they want to pursue. So many times we don't pursue our dreams or we don't find our purpose and we don't do what's right for us because we have limiting beliefs, because we have negative emotions such as fear. Maybe we were hurt in the past and we are projecting all of our past experiences into the present, allowing you to live through those eyes instead of enabling you to create your compelling future, to create something that you're doing out of love instead of out of fear. And there are techniques, right? In both coaching and digital course, I use NLP techniques. One of them is a powerful one called mental and emotional release. And I literally explain how baggage is created, how we can release limiting beliefs, what they are. We identify them. We get rid of negative emotions for you to start with a clean slate even before setting those goals. Because many times we don't work through the patterns that are unhealthy and we start setting our goals, but in the back of our mind, we don't believe that we are capable of following through. In the back of our mind, the only thing we remember is that last year or 2 years ago, I didn't follow through. So how am I gonna do it this time? You may be writing those goals and they look amazing, but do you believe you can make them happen? That is the key. And honestly, the first thing in order to work with your subconscious programming, if you're not working one-on-one with a coach, which the purpose of the coach is to bring up those things that maybe you're not aware of by the right questions. But if you're not working with the coach and you're working with yourself, it is so important that you start creating awareness in terms of your beliefs, in terms of the language you utilize every single day. Language, verbal, and body language, they are subconscious. And if you remember, 55% of communication is body language, meaning that most of communication is subconscious. You just react to it. You don't think through things and respond for the most part. So looking at your words, what are the words that you utilize? Are they in a positive framework, or are you consistently focusing on the negative outcomes? Many times, we tend to fast forward into a negative outcome when we're doing something new, when we're pushing the boundaries of what we know. That pattern of focusing in the negative, that's a pattern that you need to break at your subconscious programming in order for you to continue walking towards your goals. Now, it doesn't mean that it disappears from one day to another one. It means that you start being aware and you start putting the energy to contrast that pattern that you have been building for years. Once you have the awareness and you put that energy, then you have the power to interrupt that pattern and create a new one, right? So the words you use, there is this book that I deeply love. I'm trying to remember the name, but it's about a scientist that he does a lot of experiments with water. And what he did is he puts a lot of words in glasses of water, and then he starts studying the molecular structure of water and how it changes with the different words he puts or draws or writes in those glasses of water. It's super interesting, and I really loved it. I'm gonna put the book in the show notes because right now I don't remember. Maybe it's The Power of Water. I need to look it up. It's super small. But what he finds out is that when we speak positive and empowering words, the molecular structure of water becomes very organized and beautiful in form. But when we speak negative words or things we don't desire, but we decide to focus on, it becomes very amorphous. So it doesn't have form in terms of the structure of water. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? I say this because 70% of our body is water. So imagine if you're thinking and saying all these negative things or talking negative towards yourself, of course, that's not something that is going to empower you towards following through with your goals in the future or in the present. So language is one. Beliefs. What are the beliefs that you have? When I tell you, hey, you can have a job or a business that you're passionate about and that you can make money while doing it, what beliefs bubble up? Because if you think it's not possible, that's definitely a limiting belief. I can name at least 20 people, including myself, that have done it. And if they have done it, if we have done it, how are you different? Because it's not a matter of circumstances, right? How are you different? I'm not special. Those people are not special. They just showed up and they believed they could do it. The belief that you could do it, that you can do it, my friend, will completely change your life. But if you start show up to circumstances and you start show up to your goals and dreams with the belief that you cannot do it, guess what? In a certain way, you have failed even before starting. So I think the first belief that you need to work on is that you are enough and that you can make it happen, right? Because it's in your control. It's just a matter of time. I always tell my clients, it's not a matter of if it's going to happen. It's a matter of when. As long as you release those limiting beliefs, negative emotions, and you create a compelling future and a North Star that you're walking towards, and you show up and you focus on what you want as you're showing up, my friend, you are gonna get it. You're gonna make it happen. So the only thing stopping you from your dreams and from discovering your purpose are the things that you believe about yourself, are the things that you're telling yourself. It's your subconscious programming. Because whenever you align that subconscious programming to your conscious desires, my friend, everything starts changing. And it's interesting because talking about change is also subconscious. I see it with my clients all the time. They start showing up differently and they are not even aware until sometimes I bring it up to the light and they are like, oh my God, I used to struggle with this and I don't anymore. Because we are just going all the time, and rarely we stop to reflect. Rarely we stop to raise that awareness. But awareness is the step number one, because whenever you have the awareness, you can do something about it. If you don't have the awareness and you don't have that time to reflect, tune into yourself, guess what? Every day you're going to wake up asking yourself, why am I in this situation? So it's so important, because the only thing you have control of are your thoughts, your words, your beliefs. That is the only thing you have control of. And whenever you master those, and it's a lifelong process, but whenever you master those, you start showing up differently in the external world. Imagine yourself showing up to your dreams or a meeting or whatever, or negotiation, thinking that you cannot do it versus thinking that you can. The energy, the presence of you in the room is completely different. The information you notice, the interpretation of the situations are completely different. So my friend, as I conclude this episode, how you can start putting this into practice is creating awareness. Start noticing, maybe once a week. Sometimes at the end of the coaching program, I always tell my clients, now that we are not meeting anymore, schedule in your calendar once a week, 1 hour that we call it the growth hour or the reflection hour, whatever that is for you. And start scheduling something in your calendar so you can reflect and go inward. So you can create awareness of, hey, what are the emotions that I felt this week? Were they fulfillment, happiness, or were they frustration and being powerless because you feel you don't have control? What are the emotions? What are the beliefs that I have about myself? What are the words that I'm utilizing with myself and others? And am I focusing in the negative outcomes, even though they haven't happened? Or am I focusing on what I want, on those positive outcomes? The quality of your life depends on the quality of the questions you ask yourself. Different questions, you start getting different answers. With different answers, you start making different decisions. And with different decisions, you start getting different results. So I would love for you to start implementing this, because it's going to change your mind completely. Your mind, your world, everything. And like Wayne Dyer says, whenever you change the way you look at things, whenever you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. It just took me a little bit to remember. But anyways, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you next week. See you soon. Thank you so much for listening at With Clarity and Purpose. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. Sharing is caring. Please share with your friends and family so we can continue building an empowered community together. I'll see you next week.